Hey y'all, what up? It's your boy Sigo coming live to you from Rustenburg. You know it's your favorite show, the Influencers Archive, and today I have with me one of the most focused young lady in town that I know of. She's a model, she's a brand ambassador, and she does a lot more of stuff again. Right after the break, I'll be seated with her. You'll get to know a lot about her. Ciao.
When I was 15, when I was 15, turning 16, my parents stopped giving me an allowance. All they did was like pay my school fees and transport if I needed any. They just funded for essentials. You know, I think the difficult part is working with people in general. You know, there's no formula to working with people. There's no certain way to satisfy certain people's needs. You can't satisfy everyone. Not that it's any less important, but there was never a foundation that accommodated citizens who are not from well-developed backgrounds, like people who don't have fathers at home. Ask yourself, what are you doing that's gonna help the other person hire you?
Welcome back. It's your boy again, Sigo. Just as I had promised you before the break that I'll be seated with one of the most focused young ladies that I know in town. And she's right here with me. I won't do the intro, she'll do the rest. Hi, how are you?
Thank you for the intro. Hi guys, my name is Diamond. I'm 18 years of age. I'm from the Northwest Province and I reside in Rustenburg.
Alright,
That's me.
That's beautiful. So tell me your schooling days from preschool to primary and where you are now. Just take us through your academics.
Well, actually, I started off in a boarding school. Because at home there was a lot going on, and then I went to a boarding school. After that I went to Viva Primary School. I think it was because my parents couldn't find space or something.
Alright.
Then I transitioned to Clovey Primary till high school, and then I've been at Falls College since then.
So you're still in school even now?
I'm doing matric this year.
You're doing matric?
Yes.
So I can see that you focused and there's a lot that you do. You're a model and all that, but I want to understand, when did you actually gain the love for this whole thing that you're doing now?
Well, actually, the love has always been there, but my parents were never supportive, you know? In terms of modeling and being an entrepreneur, my parents were never really supportive of that until one day I was just in a store and photographers would randomly come to me and say, hey, can we take a picture of you, you know? And then my parents would always refuse until one day the photographer was somebody that was known to my family.
Alright.
And then the person took a picture, they promoted, and then brands started, booking me, and that was it.
Alright, so tell me, apart from what you're doing now, as you're in school now, what are your plans? Is there any other career that you want to pursue, or is it that you're going to focus on your entrepreneurship and everything that you do?
To be honest, I don't have a dream job. I don't dream of labor, right? Currently, I've been applying for, to do CA in certain universities so that I can, at least do my own books. Even if I'm an entrepreneur, I can, push my own books and, catch fraud if there is any. So I've been doing that, and I am a philanthropist, so that's one thing that I'm dedicating my life to.
Alright, so tell me, school life and entrepreneurship and modeling, how do you balance everything? Take us through that.
Yeah, that's actually a good question. Hey, I think the only way that I'm able to cope with everything is by time management. I tell myself, okay, I'm going to school, and then after school I have soccer. I play club soccer. So I go to soccer after school, and then when I get home, that's when I divide the rest of the time between being an A student and making money. But I think right now I can manage because I thought of it. I plan ahead. Seeing that I was in matric, I had to make an e-commerce. So right now, even if I'm an entrepreneur, all I do is promote. People just go on my website, order, pay, and then they pay for the delivery, and then I just deliver, and then I go to soccer. That's it.
Alright, that's quite an interesting thing. So tell me, how did you start, especially with your entrepreneurship? I understand that you're an entrepreneur. What type of entrepreneur would you call yourself? Maybe people are seated at home thinking perhaps you have a store somewhere. Can you tell them the type of entrepreneur that you are?
Well, right now I'm a distributor of beauty and cosmetics.
All right.
I sell hair products, cologne, everything that you need, I have.
All right.
In terms of how I started,
Yeah.
my mom has always been an entrepreneur. In actual fact, at home, they've always been entrepreneurs. Nobody really worked. So it has
Yeah.
always been a thing of, hey, we'll just see what we eat today. So earlier this year, my parents sat me down and explained that they would be able to, fund my tertiary education. And that's when I knew, like, okay, it's either I have to find a bursary or I have to find a backup plan. That's when I became a full-time entrepreneur. And currently I don't have a store. That's why I made an e-commerce.
All right.
So right now it's just the website. We are going to launch it soon, and we are going to do a store, like a physical store, next year.
All right. So let's talk about funding. Like, with everything that you bought and how you, like, where did you get the money to do all those type of things? Was it your pocket money from home, or just take us through that? Were you funded by any government institution, your parents, your uncle? Take us through the capital of your whole business.
Actually, when I was 15, when I was 15, turning 16, my parents stopped giving me an allowance. All they did was like pay my school fees and transport if I needed any. They just funded for essentials.
Yeah.
So from that age, I had been doing like, if it's spring day, I would sell like water balloons. If it's, I had been, but I've always been a saver.
All right.
By the time I opened my business, I did not have money. I think I started with 200 Rand. And because I knew that I had such limited money, I pushed myself. I believe that it can only work both ways. It's either you invest money or you invest the effort.
Yeah.
So I knew that the effort that I had to put in was 120 to back up for that money that was not there.
Yeah.
And currently, I'm financially stable. So I started with 200 Rand, and I just made it happen because I knew like I had to have a backup plan.
Yeah, wow. What a great thing. What a great interview. Such wisdom for this interview. Guys, let's quickly take a water break. And right after the break, Diamond will be sharing a lot about her journey as a lady entrepreneur and all that. Welcome back again, guys, as we still seated with Diamond and getting to unfold a lot about her entrepreneurship, her modeling career and all that. Yeah, so Diamond, I understand you are a young lady and you are an entrepreneur. I don't know where you get the drive and all that, but all you've been saying right now, I can feel that it's just God's grace upon your life and all that. So what are the challenges that you face as a young lady, especially in this business industry? Because we know there are sharks out here. People will promise you this, promise you that, but never deliver. Or maybe you are the lucky one. Just take us through your journey, the challenges basically.
I think the difficult part is working with people in general. There's no formula to working with people. There's no certain way to satisfy certain people's needs. You can't satisfy everyone.
Yeah.
And when I first started out, most of my customers or most of my clients were male.
Yeah.
Right? And obviously, if like on my business card, there's always like my number.
Yeah.
The weirdest thing that happened was men calling me or just buying so that they could get in contact with me.
Yeah, true.
I think that was like one of the biggest challenges. Because besides that, I believe to be successful, you have to have the right mindset.
True.
And from the get-go, that's what I heard, And also like sometimes not having or feeling like you don't have enough time never really, it drains you as a person, And also like the reason why I got into it, and my parents were like, okay, you need to do this. It was just a struggle to know that this was the only plan that I had if I don't get a bursary.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you say this, like, you would call that a struggle from home? That's a struggle, if I'm not wrong. The struggle from home led you to doing what you're doing now. The obstacles, or should I say the obstacles at home?
No.
Okay.
I think with me, let me tell you, with me, I had always had the drive, But my parents were always like, no, finish school, no, do this, no, do that first, know.
Yeah.
So when they set me down, and they explained everything to me. That
Yeah.
was a valid enough reason.
All right.
You know, so
Yeah.
now it was something. It was something that they couldn't deny. It was something that they couldn't stop, because now they knew.
They see the need.
Yes,
also,
they understood. For like, okay, she doesn't really have a choice. You know,
Yeah.
I think that was the gateway to like gaining my parents' support in the first place. And yeah, so it's different, because when they told me, I was demotivated in terms of school. You know, you ask yourself, for like, should I still continue? Like,
Yeah.
you know, but because I was already an A student and, you know, all of those things,
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, let me just continue, but let me have a backup plan. So it was definitely not a struggle, but it was an advantage to me. It gave me all
right.
that freedom.
Okay, so this is a part where you say what happened at home pushed you to doing what you're doing. So tell me, as at your age, such drive and everything, like it's not a simple thing. Don't you have times where you feel like giving up? Don't you have times where you feel like, no, this is not something that I should be doing? Don't you have that emotional breakdown at some point?
Definitely not. I don't think this is something I would regret at any point.
Right.
But I believe the only reason that's the case is because I was already into charity, you know.
Yeah.
Before I opened my business, I opened my foundation, Ladies Look Foundation. Okay. So already as it is, I love working with people. I'm a very shy person, but I'm very confident in who I am, you know. So I don't think this is something that I regret at some point. Yes, there are days where you need to take care of yourself. You need to, you know, regain that mental stability, that mental strength to deal with people, because not all people are nice. You know, there are those days, but I do have a support structure or systems that help me to manage. Because I was also diagnosed with anxiety and panic. Panic and anxiety in 2018. So I've been using those coping mechanisms since then, you know.
All right. Okay, so tell me, do you perhaps have clients at school, your teachers? How are your friends and peers supportive to everything that you're doing? Or would you say you don't have enough support from people around you?
To be honest with you, well, the way I function, I don't, like, even with the charity, my friends don't take first preference. You know, I always aim for people that I don't know, because we might be friends, but you might not like my product.
True.
You understand? So I don't put that kind of pressure on my friends. Yes, most of them are supportive, but it's not everyone. Because, you know, with friends, there's always something. I don't like mixing my relationships with business.
Right.
They'll take things on credit, and then they'll, you know, say I'll pay. So I never mix those. But the friends that I do have are really supportive, and I thank them.
Yeah, so like, tell us about your foundation. What is it actually focused on? What do you do? Do you give out sanitary pads, or what do you do?
When I first started the foundation, it was aimed at, I realized in schools we had devices that help other people, like keeping girls in school, do cancer this, cancer that. Not that it's any less important, but there was never a foundation that accommodated citizens who are not from well-developed backgrounds, like people who don't have fathers at home, or people who do have fathers, but it's not a peaceful situation, you know. So it was aimed at being a support group, a platform of support in the first place. And we help wherever we see the need. We are not saying if somebody comes to us and they want pads, we won't be able to give them, you know, or if somebody doesn't have school clothes, we are unable to give them. Wherever we see a need to help, we do that.
Oh yeah, I hear on the foundation part you emphasize we. So it means you have a group of people. Is it like a family thingy, or are there other members?
It's open to everyone. Anyone who wants to volunteer, because a lot of people want to. When I first started out, I felt that it was important that people knew, who were like, okay, if I'm donating this amount of money, where is it going?
All right.
You know, and I would always like invite them to say, okay, if you are gonna donate, please come to the event. You know, when we are going to donate those shoes or those things. And people, when they came, they're like, oh, actually, this is nice. Can we come again? You know, and then they become part of the group. That's how it was. And then we started having volunteer groups, you know, and
so basically it was all your idea from the beginning.
Yes.
And then people just jumped in as the train was moving.
Yes.
Wow, that's such a beautiful thing. Probably you have a beautiful heart. Yeah, so like the foundation, what is the main objective of the foundation? Where do you see it in the next 5 or 10 years?
When I first had the idea, I was 16.
Yeah.
16, 15, somewhere there.
Yeah.
At first, I wanted to. I have a dream.
Yeah.
I have a dream.
Yeah.
I have a dream to eventually open a foundation. I mean, an orphanage.
Yeah.
And if it's not an orphanage, I would like to, just a center where people can come and we have psychologists always on call, so that people have access to psychologists. I think a lot of people need therapy, but because of the households we live in, we don't believe in therapy.
Yeah.
So when I first started, that was the objective. And I'm hoping that I'm going to achieve that. It might not be like a physical building, but at least an online thing where someone can call and say, listen, I'm feeling a certain type of way. Can I talk to someone who can help?
Yeah.
Because now we have that, but it's only on WhatsApp. Sometimes you can't really help a person if you're not experienced.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to eventually get psychologists on board and keep it going.
Yeah, that's quite a beautiful journey. So, your take on women and children abuse, because I see most of the things that you do are actually actually in line with those type of, like, what's your take to, I believe you're an influencer on Instagram and your social media pages. So, like, what's your take on this pandemic that we have, women and children abuse? I call it a pandemic because it is a pandemic. So, like, what's your take to it?
To be honest, I don't think there's even a side to choose.
Yeah.
As a victim and knowing other people who have been victimized, I believe it is very important. Obviously, we can't categorize all men or all abusers as, a certain group. We can't do that. But I believe it's up to us to also make the change as a community. I'm not just saying women and children, but it's also up to us as women, children, society in general, men who are against it, to put a stop to it, to go out there, educate people on patriarchy, educate people on women not being any inferior to men. You understand? It doesn't necessarily mean that if a woman earns more than you, they are better than you, or they are.
Yeah, true.
You understand? So I think it is really up to us. There's no side to take. It's just up to us to stand up as a society and put a stop to it.
Yeah, let's quickly take a break and then we'll wrap up everything. You know what they say? They say time flies when we're having fun, and we're having fun. So, I know you're enjoying at home. Let's quickly take a water break, and right after the break, you'll get to learn a lot more about hair again. Beautiful people, welcome back. As I'm still seated with the beautiful Diamond, as she is a diamond because her heart, her mind, and everything are glittering. So yeah, Diamond, let's get to know you again. So tell me, Diamond, there's a young girl who's seated at home right now, facing some type of situation, and she doesn't know where to go. Like, what's your message of support to a young girl or a young boy seated at home watching you as we speak right now, who has a certain thing going on but doesn't have the confidence or any confidence she or he can confide to? So what's your message of support, or what would you advise this particular person to do? Yeah,
that's a good question. Firstly, never feel like how you're feeling is wrong. Never feel like it needs to be validated by someone.
Yeah.
I remember with me, when things happened to me, I would only be able to talk about it like a year later,
Yeah.
So seek help. It doesn't necessarily have to be a close friend. It doesn't have to be someone you know.
All right.
You could always go to therapy. Don't let it affect you.
Yeah.
As cliche as that sounds,
Yeah.
it does not define you, and it never will. It's really up to you to learn from that experience. Not every pain you experience is meant to make you stronger, but learn from it. Make something of it. If it's happening, you better make something valuable from it. That's what I can say. And we are always open. That is open. That is Look Foundation is always open.
All
You
right.
can always contact us. We are on Instagram. There's also like our number there. So please do not feel like someone needs to validate, someone needs to say, yes, that was wrong. No, it doesn't have to be that way. If you're feeling a certain type of way, it's valid.
Yeah, so now it's time to sell you to the people who are seated at home. Just tell them what you do and how they can reach out to you.
Okay. When do I start? I do so much.
Yeah.
I'm a philanthropist again. I'm a model, and I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
On Instagram, I'm Diamond. You can also find me on my business account, Inuka with Diamond, or on my foundation, that is Look Foundation. There's always a number there that you can access us on, and if you see me, just ask for a business card. I'll always give it to you.
Yeah, now it's time to motivate people who are seated at home generally, not just your peers and everyone. Just give a message of support to the people who are watching us at home, and just tell us how you feel about you being featured on this episode. As you know, yeah.
First of all, I was very excited to be part of the program.
Yeah.
I was really excited.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the video to be uploaded.
Yeah.
And as for motivation, having been part of the President's Award program, I learned that it's never too late and it's never too early.
Yeah.
Don't let age restrict you. Don't say, but I'm too old to join modeling if you're 30. Like, what have you tried? Always try, and only give up if you've completed what you've completed.
Yeah.
On my blog, I always said, think of yourself as a flower which needs to be watered,
Yeah.
and a business that needs to be maintained, not just that fine rock that needs to be picked up. What work are you doing?
Yeah.
Yes, you might have talent, but what are you doing to make sure that people are, getting more of you? Yes.
Yeah.
So it's never too late and it's never too early. Don't let, when it comes to dreams, age is just a number. Age is just a number. So always keep that in mind and, shoot for the stars.
Yeah, so like as a model, do you like have any contracts with any company that binds you to a certain thing? Or like just take us through your journey of modeling, especially like just tell the people who are watching at home who actually want to be models. You get it? Like motivate them. Just tell them what are the right things to do, do's and don'ts. Obviously, things happen, especially when you try to pursue modeling. You meet certain photographers who want certain things at some point. Like, what is the right way to be a model?
First of all,
yeah,
if you are really trying to break into modeling,
yeah,
ask yourself, what are you doing that's going to help the other person hire you?
Yeah.
Because when I first started out, I did a lot of photo shoots. Before I got hired a lot.
Yeah.
I did a lot of photo shoots just to cheer myself up, and then somebody would see that picture and be like, okay, this would look nice in my brand, if she posed for my brand.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Don't wait to be hired to do what you want to do.
Right.
Do it for yourself first. Show your capabilities first. And in terms of joining, nowadays there are a lot of scams.
Yeah.
So always educate yourself, research as much as you can, and never be forced to do what you don't want to do. If you do not aim to be a model who does nude shoots, do not at any cost do them. Know yourself, know your boundaries. And in terms of contracts, if you do get hired and then it's for like a certain brand for a certain amount of period, sometimes you do get contracts, and make sure that you do not break any terms and conditions of the contract. Sometimes it's just basic things like, okay, if you are modeling for our brand, notify us before you shoot for someone else. Sometimes it's basically if you're gonna post something, they have to approve if the caption is relevant, if it's not racist, if it's not, just basic things. It's never like, don't go out at night. It's never those things. And you also put what you expect from them. Like, tell me in time if there's a shoot so that I can prepare certain things. It's just basic things. Just make sure you educate yourself. And it's always a good idea to get a mentor who's already in the field and knows what's happening and what's going on.
Wow, such wisdom. Guys, unfortunately we have to wrap up, and I hope this interview was beautiful to you as it is to me, and was like educational because it was quite insightful. So guys, thank you for tuning in. That's read to Diamond for you guys, and till we meet again, same time, with another person. You won't be here again. Signing out.